I was recently talking to a very good friend of mine who found himself being the victim of a really awful injustice, a very unjust situation, really, really terrible situation. And like everything within me, when he told me about it, just kind of revolted and got disgusted and angry and I want to do something. How could this happen? And he went on to talk about how like he's really at peace. He has a clean conscience. He has a pure conscience. He's at peace. He's confident that God's will is still in the midst of everything. That all of this that's taking place in his life is within God's providence. And that kind of peace that he had in the midst of something that was just so unjust that I can't get into because of confidentiality stuff, it was really, really moving to me. And I think about that because we read in this gospel today that we all know so well that we are accustomed to seeing held up at sports games and stuff, John 3:16. Why is it that it was necessary that God would send his son, to die for the world? Why was it necessary, to do so? God was not working out his anger issues with his son, like taking out his anger at mankind's sin on his son. God who held together perfect love and perfect justice, justice for mankind's sins, perfect love that's unfailing and unreserved. Jesus who, taking on our humanity, took on all of us, everything we have. If he wasn't true God, he couldn't forgive our sins. If he wasn't true man, he couldn't take them on himself. But God was not working out his anger issues with his son. God was working about restoring justice, restoring true justice. That true justice that we are justified in the Son, that by that justification that comes to us by being sons and daughters in the Son, all that other injustice we face in the world, we can never be true victims. We can never have like a victim mentality. The Jesus in the Gospels in no way, shape, or form takes on the identity of a victim. The Gospels go to great lengths to talk about how Jesus, even throughout his passion, he's always confident in the Father's plan, that the Father's hand is always at work. Jesus never, ever takes up the part of being a helpless victim. And we as Christians, too, we don't have the privilege or the permission to take on the part of being helpless victims when life gets pretty tough and nasty and unjust. Being justified by the Son and by being sons and daughters in the Son, we're called to live on a higher level than that.